Hello, here we are again, Pre-Algebra Module 1 Review, Part 3. Last part, few more questions to review for your Module 1 exam. Recipe question for number 18. If a recipe calls for 2/3 cup of sugar, how much sugar would you need if the recipe was halved? How much would you need if the recipe were doubled? So what we know is that you've got 2/3 of a cup, and we're looking for two separate solutions. The first one, we're going to half the recipe, and the second one, we're going to double the recipe. And both of these require multiplication, because if we're halving something, such as the 2/3, halving it is the same as dividing by 2, and multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as division by 2. So for our first one, for half a recipe, we're going to take 2/3 times a half. And we can cross reduce here. 2 and 2 reduces down to 1 and 1. Multiply our numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. Denominator, 3 times 1 is 3. And so half of 2/3 is 1/3. For B, how much would you need if you doubled the recipe? We're going to take the 2/3, and this time we're going to double it. So we're going to multiply by 2. We put 2 over 1 to make it a fractional value. This time there's nothing to cross reduce, so we multiply the numerators. 2 times 2 is 4. And the denominators, 3 times 1 is 3, and we change this to a mixed number. 3 goes into 4 once, with 1 left over. So 2/3 doubled is 1 1/3 of a cup. Number 19, if you are spending 6 hours doing schoolwork, 1 hour cooking, and 7 hours sleeping, how much time is left for other things? So when they're asking us for how much time is left, there's going to be an element of subtraction. What we've got is time in a day. So this word problem gives us not quite enough information to solve. We have to fill in the missing piece. And the missing piece is that there's 24 hours in one day. So if you're spending 6 hours plus 1 hour, plus 7 hours, out of the 24 hours, how many hours is that? So that's going to be 14 hours. But the question's not asking how many hours you're spending doing that stuff. The question's asking how much time is left. So then, I'm going to put that as part A. Part B is, well, if the day is 24 hours, so that would be 24 over 24, a full day, minus the hours I'm doing that stuff, I'm going to be left with 24 minus 14, which is 10 hours left. So we've got a couple ways we can answer this question that I would accept. How much time is left? You could say 10 hours is left. You could say 10/24 is left. You can reduce this fraction to lowest terms, which is 5/12. If the question's not specific enough, then we will accept a variety of answers. If this is a multiple choice question, then your answer would be based on what you see in the choices. So 10 hours, 10 out of 24 hours, or 5/12. These are all acceptable answers for me. Our last two questions for review are short. Number 20, write 34/4 as a mixed number in lowest terms. And number 21 is 51 prime, composite, or neither. Number 20, we're writing as a mixed number. We've been doing this a lot this unit, dividing up. How many times does 4 go into 34? It goes 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32, so that means that there's 2 remaining. out of the 4. And because 2/4 is not in lowest terms, we're going to reduce that fraction, giving us a final answer of 8.5. For number 21, you're using your skills of divisibility tests. So 51 looks like it's prime. Remember, prime is just me and myself, right? Me and 1. So prime numbers are numbers like 7, 17, 19, number 2. So those are prime numbers. Composite numbers have factors. So popular composite numbers, of course, would be 12, 15, 18, 24. There's so many composite numbers, and composite can be odd or even numbers. All even numbers are composite, except for the number 2. But there's lots of odd composite numbers. Neither prime nor composite is 0 or 1. So what about 51? If we do divisibility tests, 51 is not divisible by 2, but is 51 divisible by 3? How do we know? If you remember, we add the digits. 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. So therefore, 51 is divisible by 3. So 51, even though it doesn't look like it, it is a composite number. It is divisible by 3. It has factors of 1 and 51, and 3 and 17. I hope you found this Module 1 review helpful and useful for you to see if there's any areas that you need to review before your exam. And best wishes on your exam. We'll be getting together soon for Module 2.